Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make a gravity dyed geode shirt. I'm going to do a single geode, and I'm actually going to start this one kind of up on the shoulder of the shirt. So to begin, I'm going to use a washable marker and make a shape kind of like the center of a geode up on the shoulder of the shirt. This is not what the center shape of the geode is going to look like. It's just so that whenever I'm tying the shirt, I don't lose track of where I want the center to be. Now I'm going to grab one layer of fabric right in the middle of that shape that I drew, lift the shirt up off the table, kind of give it a shake, and then I'm going to slide my hand down to where I want the outer rings of the geode to be. I'm not going to tie the whole entire shirt because I want to leave part of the shirt to get gravity dyed. But I don't want the outer ring to be a perfect circle. So I'm going to grab a few pieces of fabric up and kind of mess it up just to make it more of an unusual shape on that outer ring. Then I'm going to begin tying with sinew. I'm going to wrap the sinew around on top of itself a couple of times, and then I'm going to pull as tightly as I can. What this does is because sinew has a wax coating on it, whenever you wrap a couple lines on top of each other and then you begin to slowly pull and tighten down the sinew, it will latch on to the other layer of sinew, essentially tightening down on itself and causing kind of a waterproof layer, which won't allow the dye down underneath that area. Then I'm going to continue tying layers or rings in the shirt until I get close to the center. And as I'm tying those rings in the shirt, I'm varying the distance between them, and I'm also trying to keep the fabric pretty roughed up. I want the wrinkles, I want the weird shapes, I don't want it to be perfect. If a geode is perfect as you're tying it, it's going to end up looking like a bullseye. And a bullseye is a really cool design and tie-dye shirt, but that's not what I'm going for. So the messier you keep your shirt and the more folds and weird shapes that end up in there as you're tying a geode, the more natural and better I think they end up looking. Once I get really close to where I want the center of the geode to be, I'm actually going to split my fabric by taking the sinew down in between the fabric, kind of dividing it into two areas. And the two areas don't need to be equal in size. I'm just going to take the sinew in between, divide it into two areas, and then tie each area separately. What that's going to do is that's going to give more than one little area of the center, and I think it's going to make it look a lot more interesting. I'm not going to cut off the sinew though when I get to the end of the first area I've tied. I'm just going to wind that sinew back down those lines that I tied and tie the other side. That will help keep my sinew a little bit more secure so it won't unravel quite as easily. Now I'm going to straighten out my geode just a little bit, kind of try to make it flat, and then I'm going to place it aside and allow it to dry out completely before I apply the dye. I feel like whenever I apply the dye to a dry geode, it's a lot easier to get good color saturation in the center of the geode. If you'd like a little more information about this topic, I have a blog post out on my website that discusses this in more detail, and I have a link to my website down below this video in the description. I thought for this geode I would do kind of a monochromatic color palette of all brown. I don't think I've ever done just a totally brown geode. So I thought let's try it. I'm doing this setup outside, and I have a metal shelving unit which I've placed outside under the trees. I put the shirt on top of the shelf, and then I'm tying a piece of kite string to one end of the geode and then to the other end of my shelf, just to make sure that the geode doesn't slide off of the shelf. So the one thing that you didn't see is right before I placed this shirt on top of the shelf, I took the bottom part, the part that is hanging free and untied, and I dunked it inside of my soda ash solution bucket and barely wrung it out. So it's pretty wet. Then the top portion, which is the geode portion, since it is completely dry, I'm going to lightly spray it with a little bit of soda ash solution to help the dye stick better. I've been experimenting with really wetting down my shirts when I do these gravity dyes to see if it helps the dye flow down the shirt a little bit better. And so far it's worked out really well. So I'm going to try it with this geode and see how it goes. Okay, so I've chosen a lot of brown shades. Let me tell you the ones that I'm going to use. From Dharma Trading Company, I'm using Brazil Nut, Khaki, Dutch Chocolate, Chocolate Brown, Rust Brown, Bronze, and Wet Sands. Wet Sands is a special order color, and you can still purchase it from Dharma, but you would have to buy it in large quantities. If you want the color but don't want to buy large quantities, you can usually find it out at a Facebook group or in a Facebook group called Tie-Dye Supplies Marketplace. And I have a link to that group down below this video in the description. People out there purchase the large quantities of the special order colors, and then they repackage them down into smaller quantities. I'm also going to use Ecru from Dharma Trading Company, but I'm not going to use that till the very end. Then from Pro Chemical and Dye, I'm using Mocha, Camel, Espresso, Harvest Wheat, and Chino. And then the last color I'm using is Rustic Brown from Dye Spin. When I apply the dye colors, I'm going to apply them on the lines, in between the lines. I'm going to add more than one color in a section. I'm trying to be as random as possible, and I'm using most of the colors more than once. I'm also going to put just a little bit of quite a few of the colors down below my last sinew line to allow those to be the colors to kind of melt down the shirt. When I'm applying the dye colors, I'm trying to be as random as possible. I've chosen some really dark browns like Brazil Nut and Espresso, and I've also chosen a few kind of orangey browns like Rust Brown and Rustic Brown. I want to get those kind of mixed in there. I don't want all the dark colors together, and I don't want all the really light browns together. I want it to look pretty natural, so I'm trying to mix it up as much as possible. Okay, I have a whole bunch of dye on this shirt, and over the top of the dye, I'm going to add a little bit of additional dry soda ash. I'm going to add quite a bit of ice, and I don't want the ice to go ahead and rinse out the original soda ash that I have in the shirt. Because the shirt sticks up so much, I thought it might be easier if I took a couple little metal baskets, placed them upside down on my shelving unit, and then placed the ice kind of partially on top of that. That makes everything just about level. Then over the top of my ice, I'm going to place Ecru. And Ecru is just a really mild color. It kind of has a little hint of taupe, kind of a little hint of green. It's just a good filler color. It just adds a little bit of dimension whenever I do earth tone geodes. And I like that look. I already have so much dye on this shirt to begin with. I'm not sure I'm even going to be able to see it, but I'm going to add it anyway. Then I'm going to go ahead and leave the shirt alone and allow the ice to melt. So the whole purpose of a gravity dye is for the dye to run through the shirt and fully saturate the shirt, and then to run to the outer edges of the fabric to saturate the part of the shirt where you didn't place dye and where the shirt is not tied. I've included some photos so you can see what the shirt looked like as the ice melted and it ran through the shirt. After the first layer of ice melted, I came back and the dye wasn't all the way to the edge of the shirt, so I went ahead and added another layer of ice. That's one reason why I add so much dye to the top when I do some of these thick designs like this, is I just want to keep adding more ice and forcing the dye through the shirt. I don't want to have to add more dye and more ice. This is a really thick fold because it is a geode, and this is a size 3X shirt, so it's got a lot of fabric. That's why I added plenty of dye, and I'm going to end up adding quite a bit of ice. After the dye got all the way down to the outer edges of the shirt, I gently picked the shirt up and looked on the back side of the geode portion, and it looked to be really well saturated. So I took the shirt off of my shelving rack and I placed it down inside of a plastic tote that has a metal rack in the bottom. I placed the lid on the tote and then I left the tote outside to process in the heat. I left it for probably about 24 to 48 hours before I began rinsing it. And as you can see, it looks to be very well saturated. So I started rinsing in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Then I warmed the water up to hot, untied the shirt, and continued rinsing in hot water to try to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Instead of rinsing for a long time, I went ahead and ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added a little bit of Blue Dawn dish soap to the water, placed the shirt inside, and allowed it to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I placed the shirt inside of my washing machine along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent, and I washed it using a hot water cycle. So the shirt's been washed, dried, and ironed, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think this one looks kind of cool. I like the shape of the geode. I think that's really cool. And I do love the dye flow. It's a lot of brown though. You know, I don't know that I've ever done a totally brown geode, and it's a lot of brown. I like it though. It doesn't look bad. I mean, there's a lot of color variation. I've got some hints of yellow and green, and of course that more reddish orange color, lots of variation in the browns. And I was looking up geodes online to see, get some inspiration for geodes. And that's what I really like to do. I like to find natural geodes and then kind of try to match some of the colors. And lots of the geodes that I was finding were mainly brown. So I thought, well, let's try it. And I'm happy with this one. I do have some speckles on the back, which happens sometimes, and they're pretty primary color speckles. So I have some magenta in there, some blue, and some yellow, which most of the time, a few speckles I'm not unhappy with. These are a little bit larger, but they don't look horrible. I just wish they weren't there. As far as the back goes, though, I think that looks really cool. The way I kind of have almost like a dark teal color streaking through there, along with some of the other colors. I think that is really pretty. I like the flow on the back of the shirt. And like I said, I like that center portion of the geode. It's very unusual. And then I like the fact that the geode wraps around to the back shoulder of that shirt too. I think that is very interesting. Instead of the whole main design just being on the front, I like the fact that it kind of wraps around to that back portion and then that one sleeve. I think anything that is off center is more interesting as far as I'm concerned to look at. And I had somebody the other day say something about maybe starting a geode down a little lower. I do not do that because I don't want to start it down so low that it's on the chest portion of a shirt. Nobody wants to wear a geode with it right in their chest area. So, I mean, if you're a man, it might not bother you, but as a woman, I personally would either prefer a geode to be on the shoulder or a little further down. I don't want it right in my chest area. So that's the reason why I start geodes where I usually do. So overall, I'm really happy with this one. I like kind of the very mottled look in that geode portion, it just kind of looks like creamy chocolate to me in a couple of areas. Melted chocolate where it just kind of flows into another geode color. I did get really good white lines in part of my geode, but I didn't in other areas. So I don't know if I just didn't pull my sinew tight enough or what was going on there. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I think it turned out really pretty, but what do you guys think? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.